Good morning, and welcome to another edition of the Right On Reporter. I am Bobby, a student here at West County Grade School, and because today is Father's Day, I will be asking the members of Mrs. Wilson's 5th grade Sunday school class a traditional Father's Day question. What makes your dad a great dad? Oh, here comes a student now. Excuse me, could you please tell us, what makes your dad a great dad?
Why, I'd be glad to. What makes my dad a great dad is his ability to say, "Son, I don't know the answer to that question, but let's look together and see what we can come up with."
It doesn't bother you that your dad doesn't have all the answers?
No, it is really great having a dad who isn't a know-it-all. He's teaching me how to feel good about myself even though I don't have all the answers. What's more important though, is that he is showing me how to find the answers to my questions, and he is letting me think for myself. I didn't realize how important that was until I spent 18 hours, last weekend, trapped in the back seat of a friend's car looking for an amusement park, because my friend's dad refused to stop and ask for directions. He even refused to look at a map. My friend's dad was too proud to ask someone for help.
What are you going to get your dad for Father's Day?
Well, I made this fine piece of art in Sunday school class this morning. And I plan on giving it to him, but more important than that, I'm going to give him a big hug, and tell him that I love him.
That sounds great. Thanks for sharing your thoughts with us. Here comes another student. Excuse me, could you please tell us, what makes your dad a great dad?
I'd be glad to. My dad is a great dad because he has taught me how to eat right.
You mean that he has shown you where each food came from, and where it fits into the different food groups, and that by knowing all this it has helped you to eat a well-balanced meal?
No, Mom did all of that stuff. She was always the one saying things like, "Eat all of your vegetables so you can grow up big and strong," and "An apple a day keeps the doctor away." No, Dad was cool. I remember him telling us that he had just read that it was much better to order cheeseburgers at fast food restaurants than to eat regular hamburgers. From that time on, he showed us how much he loved us, because he always bought us cheeseburgers so that we could eat healthier. Dad also was fond of saying, "Ice cream, breakfast of champions." He was the one who invented the ice cream diet.
I see. What are you going to get your dad for Father's Day?
This fine piece of art that I made in Sunday school class, an extra scoop of ice cream at lunch, and most important of all, a great big hug. Oh yeah, I'm also going to tell him that I love him very much.
That sounds great. Thank you for sharing with us your Father's Day thoughts. Here comes another student. Excuse me, could you please tell us, what makes your dad a great dad?
I'd be glad to. What makes my dad great is that he loves me, just as I am. I've never felt that I have had to earn his love.
Can you share with us one time when he showed you this kind of love?
Sure, my dad tries to make it to all of my softball games. I remember one game where I came to bat in the bottom of the 6th inning, with runners on first and second, 2 out, and we were behind 4-3. Well, I struck out and the game was over. We lost. And I felt like I had let my team down. I was in tears. My dad took me aside, gave me a big hug, told me that he was very proud of me because I had done my very best, and that he loved me very, very much. Then he took me out for a milkshake.
Wow, you sure have a great dad. What are you going to get him for Father's Day?
I'm giving him this fine piece of artwork that I drew this morning in Sunday school class, a giant milkshake, and most important of all, a big hug. Oh yeah, and I'm going to tell him that I am very proud of him, and that I love him very, very much.
Wow, 3 great answers, and 3 great dads.
By the way, what are you going to get your dad for Father's Day?
A signed 8x10 glossy picture of myself, Bobby, the Right On Reporter, and then I'm going to let him take me out for lunch.
It's Father's Day. Shouldn't you be taking him out to lunch?
Haven't you heard that it's better to give than it is to receive?
Yeah, so?
Well, I'm going to give him the bigger blessing by allowing him to give, while I take the lesser blessing by receiving.
Why don't you surprise him and you pay for lunch?
I thought of doing that, but I'm wondering if such a shock might hurt him? After all, he is really old.
How old is your dad?
He's really old? I think that he is 30 years old.
That sure is old, but I think that he would really like it if you paid for lunch.
Alright, but just this once. I don't want to start any bad habits.
Great, I'm sure your dad will really be pleased.
Yeah, my dad's really lucky to have me for a son.
I should say so. You're giving him a signed 8x10 glossy picture of yourself. I wish I had thought of doing that for my dad.
Well, there's always next year.